Alright, last week's video was more complicated for me to make, so I'm gonna do something a little easier this week. In the said previous video, I talked about many things, but something that I did mention was the POR number, or percentage of representation number for each season. This number referred to the percentage of queens from a season that have been cast back on All Stars. Since we have the threat of All Stars 10 approaching, with the glooming fear of Drag Race fucking it up as they often do, I wanted to do a video casting All Stars 10, but only having in mind queens that have not been back on All Stars yet. So it's kind of like a wish list. Today I will go through seasons 1 through 14, pick out the queens that I would like to see again on All Stars, and from that bunch, pick out a cast of 12 to 14 queens. I want to mention that I have not been following any drag queens' work for the past 2 years, since I have not been on social media. I'm basing this simply on how they performed on their seasons, and if I would like to see more of them. Some of them, or probably most of them, have progressed a lot since their seasons, but sadly, I do not know if they have. From season 1, I got 4 queens to choose from. And honestly, realistically, we can write Pork Chop off. And I know some might say that we can also write Rebecca off, but you know what? She's actually my number 1 pick from this season. Great early villain. Her drag is, or was, something that we don't often see on Drag Race anymore. Rebecca is also very attractive out of drag, which, given that half of each episode the queens are out of drag, you cannot blame me for wanting some eye candy from time to time on Drag Race. The times have been tough for these past couple of seasons. My second pick is Akashia, because we need the original lip sync assassin to make an appearance to get some love again, but I don't know if she exists anymore in the drag world. And my third pick would be Jade. Season 2 is the season that I think has the least amount of viable options. Out of the 4 queens that I could pick from, one of them is, dead. It would be very hard to have her on All Stars. The other queen is the season's winner, so unless it's a BB situation or an all-winner season, we can't really see her as a viable option. So we really only have 2 options. Nicole Paige Brooks or Mystique Summers Madison. Mystique, I guess. Season 3 also has only a few options, but out of all of them, I would like to see Delta work on All Stars. I'm not really too excited for this, but Delta is entertaining and she's immensely eloquent, so she would have very good confessionals, at least. Season 4, in hindsight, has a pretty weird cast. Its queens were either stellar or complete duds, with maybe 1 or 2 queens there in the middle, and save for 1 queen, all of the stellar queens have been on All Stars. The choice is clear. It's Willam. The alternative would be the princess. Just because I think that her drag would have been more allowed, respected in a more modern Drag Race season. Season 5's choice is also very clear to me. It's Lineysha Sparx. The alternative picks, first, it would be Ivy Winters, and I guess my third choice would then be Jade Jolie. But seeing how Jade did on Dragula, I kinda doubt that she would provide any competition to the other queens, which to me is still an important aspect of a cast as well. For season 6, I got 2 picks, which, if you had seen season 6, you would think are a little shady when put together. Courtney Act and Joslyn Fox. No, I do not want Laganja back, thank you. For season 7, I have picked 3 queens. My first choice, and my first choice on any All-Stars wish list since the beginning of time, has been Miss Fame. Looking back on season 7, some of her failures could have been ignored, and Fame could have won season 7 as a Violet alternative. Do I smell a video idea here? Maybe. My other choices are Candy Ho and Pearl. Why not? My pick for season 8 would be Derek Barry winning All Stars 5, but other than that, Acid Betty. We need a good villain back on All Stars. Season 9 has had a lot of queens back on All Stars, but really, the only queen that I would want to see back is Peppermint. Kinda like Acid Betty for season 8, Peppermint would be a great organic hero, which also we have been kinda missing on All Stars. Season 10's cast is one of the strongest casts of Drag Race, so even though they have had a lot of queens compete on All Stars, I have still chosen 3 queens to represent the season. Yuhua Hamasaki, Cameron Michaels, and Asia O'Hara. Yuhua seemed like a weird early out on her season, and knowing how funny she can be and how great she is at sewing and designing, I think that she was misrepresented on season 10. Cameron Michaels, with a little more confidence, would have killed season 10, and Asia O'Hara is our fallen angel of that season. Season 11... meh. Season 10's cast was strong. Season 11's cast was, like I said, meh. Out of the queens that we have not seen compete on All-Stars, I guess I would like to see Brooke back. However, even so, I doubt that she would ever compete again, given that she's the host of Canada's Drag Race. Season 12, honestly, there is only one queen that I would want to see back. And after Miss Fame, she's a strong lock for All-Stars for me, and that's Rock'em Sakura. Misunderstood legend. Unfortunate early out in a season that she could have dominated if the production had not decided she was an early out. Also, again, eye candy. I like looking at pretty people. That's why most of my videos have a black background, so I can see myself in the reflection of the screen. Sue me. For seasons 13 and 14, I have 4 choices each. Season 13's choices are, in no particular order, Denali, Utica, Olivia, and Rosé. Denali is, of course, the robbed goddess of season 13, so I think that she would be my first choice, but we'll see. Utica was used on the show to be a punching bag that would always come up short behind Got Mick. Olivia was Simone's counterpart, so both of these queens do deserve a second chance to really show themselves, and Rosé is giving Chad Michaels vibes. Great at the competition and a really fun character, but sadly, the storyline of the season was not there to back up her win. Season 14's queens that I would want to see back on All-Stars are Maddy Morphosis, Daya, Alyssa Hunter, and Lady Camden. Camden, kinda like Rosé, was an incredible competitor, quite easy to root for, but the bare-bones, predetermined story of the season did not work in her favor. Alyssa Hunter was unfairly eliminated because the season just could not exist without Carrie Colby. Spoiler alert, yes, it absolutely could. Daya is simply a great villain, and to me she's the most entertaining queen from season 14, and Maddy Morphosis would be such a great shit stirrer on Drag Race. Great, so I have a list of 30 queens. Now I gotta cut 16 to 18 of them. Okay, the obvious cuts are Mystique, Jolie, Pearl, and Brooklyn Hytes. After doing some googling, I saw that Rebecca and Akashia do not really do drag anymore. I could not find Akashia anywhere, so to make my job easier, let's cut at least one of them. But listen, even though Rebecca Glasscock does not technically do drag anymore, I would be so much more excited to see Rebecca back on Drag Race than Jade. So I don't care, she's one of my picks. Delta I will cut next, since even though I would be okay with her being back on All-Stars, I'm not like crazy about that choice. Since Camden and Rosé fill a similar archetype, I'll cut one of them. Camden's drag excites me more, but Rosé does have that storyline with Denali, and I must have Denali on All-Stars, so I'm cutting Camden. Okay, realistically speaking, if I have to cut Pearl already, I can cut Willam as well. I'm not cutting Courtney, even though that would also be like a realistic omission from the cast. Like, just let me be Delulu about some of these queens. With Courtney being a lock, I will have to cut Joslyn. I'm okay with cutting the princess as well, but I must have Lineysha and Ivy back on All-Stars. I've already said that Fame is a lock too, along with Acid Betty, Peppermint, and Rock'em. I'll cut Olivia and Utica, because I think it's fair to have only 2 queens from a single season together on here. Now I have a problem with season 14's cast. Alyssa's drag is amazing and she's a great performer, but she did not show much of a personality. Maddy is a great comedic queen and a great confessional, but not a great competitor in any other challenges. Daya is a great character and a really solid competitor, so she's a lock. Solely for the possible rivalry or joint slayage of Alyssa and Lineysha, I'm picking Alyssa over Maddy. I got 4 queens left and 2 spots available. I guess I can cut Kandy Ho, since other than being a great performer, she did not show much on season 7. And lastly, I got this trio from season 10. You know, since I do kind of lean towards drag that excites me visually, I will choose Yuhua and Kameron over Asia, whose drag is kind of the most traditional out of those threes. Thus, my final wishlist cast for All Stars 10, if the cast were to be comprised of only queens that have never been on All Stars before, is Acid Betty, Alyssa Hunter, Courtney Act, Daya Betty, Denali, Cameron Michaels, Lineysha Sparx, Max, Miss Fame, Peppermint, Rebecca Glasscock, Rock'em Sakura, Rosé, and Yuhua Hamasaki. The winner from this cast? I would put my money on Peppermint, Courtney, or Lineysha Sparx. But I would like to see Rock'em surprise us and win in the end. Me pretending here that the Drag Race would allow an East Asian or Southeast Asian queen to win more than once per decade. Yeah, I tend to be funny like that.